So we are back, and now we have Paulius Astromskis. Hello, nice to see you.
Hello.
So Paulius Astromskis is a technology law expert working with tech companies and startups since 2008, and it is acknowledged for his deep business and legal knowledge in corporate compliance and product structure issues. He's deeply passionate about and is actively researching various interdisciplinary issues of law, economics, and ethics of artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies. Besides legal practice, Paulius is also deeply involved in legal tech industry, is one of the founders of the Legal Hackers Vilnius chapter and the ambassador of the European Legal Tech Association. His topic today is legal landscape of AI cybersecurity risk management. The presentation will explore the legal landscape of AI cybersecurity risk management and discuss the key considerations for designing an effective AI cybersecurity risk management framework, including the challenges and opportunities posed by the intersection of AI and cybersecurity law. The speaker will also provide a legal perspective on balancing the risks and benefits of AI innovation, highlighting the need for organizations to ensure compliance within the latest legal developments in this rapidly evolving field. So Paulius, screen is yours. Please share your slides and we will be ready to listen for your presentation.
Okay, can you see my slides now, or
Not
should
yet.
I? Okay.
Please share
Let
it.
me just. Okay, here it is, and full screen. So it should be okay now.
Super, we can see everything. So please.
Okay, so thank you one more time for having me one more time. It's last year I have introduced or talked about Artificial Intelligence Act, the recent regulation within the European Union of this industry. And after receiving an invitation this year, I thought, well, you know, it's a good topic. It's yet a lot of to discuss, a lot of to analyze, and therefore I should stick to that. So this year I would like to look at the intersection between AI regulation, the regulations which are coming, and cybersecurity in the context of obligatory risk management. So when we talk about cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, there is you can separate these, you know, big three dimensions of possible talks or inquiries, which is cybersecurity for AI. This part usually talks about various the resilience and vulnerabilities of AI models, various, you know, model interference and manipulation issues, attacks against cyber physical systems, manipulation of data, data poisoning, and all other issues which are related to the security and robustness of artificial intelligence systems. Then there is a part for AI to support cybersecurity. This includes various active firewalls, smart antivirus, smart forensics, adaptive sandboxing, and etc. techniques, which are aimed to create advanced tools for cybersecurity managers within the company. Then there is a third part of malicious use of AI, which is basically about the tools created in bad labs by bad guys or by bad girls for using it in criminal activities. Usually these tools includes AI-powered malware, advanced social engineering tools, various fake social media accounts farming, and etc. So it's also a big field for exploration. So this year I decided to stick on cybersecurity for AI in terms of legal regulations and some I don't know, practical references to some documents and recommended practices. Well, the same if I will be invited, in additional to the Cyberthons next year and year after that, I have another 2 topics already, so I will be waiting. But this time I will be talking about cybersecurity for AI. And upcoming, it's getting a little bit, refreshed on the legal regulations. We have this Artificial Intelligence Act proposal, yet a proposal in the hands of European Commission, which basically is a set of harmonized rules put for overall European Union market for artificial intelligence systems. So it is a harmonized proposal for regulation. So basically, you can see it as a general data protection regulation, which harmonized the rules for data protection. So this set of rules is also here for AI. It also prohibits certain practices, sets some specified requirements. So basically, this is the law of artificial intelligence, which is supposed to come live already this year. It's currently, as you see, it's in the first reading. So after adoption, there still will be some time for to prepare and to prepare all the supervisory authorities and all the markets, but it will be in place in 2 or 3 years, fully active. The reason why it is necessary to start acting today is very, economics of this act. The fines are huge. I mean, and it's bigger than for data protection. So basically, non-compliance can be very costly, not only in terms of reputation, lost businesses, and etc., but simply straightforwardly, with penalties. And when we talk about artificial intelligence and the requirements for cybersecurity and various things, it covers the full life cycle of AI systems. So it means that you should be preparing documentation. You should be preparing all be prepared for those regulations if you are developing AI today, because after 2 or 3 years to get to roll over all the history and get all the development cycles and technical documentation in place, describing all, it can be very hard thing to do. So and in compliance might be hugely costly. Now, all the AI systems within this law is basically a risk-based classification. So European Parliament likes risk-based approach. You can see it in anti-money laundering, in GDPR, and currently it is here in the AI sector. And it levels, it prohibits some AI systems because of unacceptable risks, such as AI for manipulation of human behavior, opinions, decisions, classification based on social behavior, and etc. And then there is allowed, but classified in risk layers. There are high risk systems, limited, and minimal. So although in order to get yourself or put yourself in one of these brackets, you will still need a risk assessment of your systems, but the specific requirements and the most of attention given in the Artificial Intelligence Act is for high risk AI systems, which encompasses in itself all the bioidentification, categorization of natural persons, various AI models for education, employment, and etc. So there is a list a specific list of AI models and AI businesses, which has a very specific requirements for cybersecurity and for risk management. So I will basically stick a little bit on those. And here, the overall requirements are, you can see them on a slide, and my focus is on two things: on the interrelations between risk management, the requirement to have the risk management system in the company, which should be not only the pack of documents, but it should be a continuous process, also constantly tested and renewed. It's the content of risk management system we will go through a little bit later. And also another bracket is for robustness, accuracy, and cybersecurity. So here the law requires to design and achieve appropriate level of cybersecurity throughout the life cycle of AI. That is from the first code line to the actual entry into the market. The cybersecurity should be on the top of the list of the tasks to do. It should be documented, and it also should be based on risk levels. That is, the risk-based approach is in cybersecurity also. So especially the law, AI Act also give a list of specific type of vulnerabilities and threats, such as data poisoning, adversarial examples, model flaws, and etc. So I will be focusing on the interrelations between these two, but also all of these. The record keeping is a must. The data governance, technical documentation. Each of these sectors has their own specific rule set, which are, overall forms the system of compliant AI business. Now, talking about risk management, there are a lot of standards already. And in terms of cybersecurity, ENISA, the European Agency for cybersecurity, is very active in advising and providing recommendations for cybersecurity risk management. And one of the publications you can see on the risk management standards, which overlooks, well, how many risk management standards there is in a market, and it's starting from purely European to international ISO standards, national standards. I mean, it's already a decision to be made by the cybersecurity officers at a specific company. Well, which one we will stick and why, right? So it's good news is that very recently, just this month, it's ISO released, already published. Previously it was a draft proposal, but it became live this month, for guidance on risk management for artificial intelligence systems. And although this is a new standard, and it sets, of course, the specifics of AI threats, AI threat actors, and some things to consider in the process, but it basically follows the same model of risk management process, which is recommended by ENISA for cybersecurity. And here I could say there is no bicycle invented. So it's a typical risk management process with a determination of the scope, then the risk assessment, identification, analysis, evaluation, the treatment plan, and of course all the documentations, monitoring, communication, creating this the cybersecurity culture in a company, and etc. So all of these, if you somehow have some ties with risk and with, if you are in this cyber industry, you probably know this model very well. It's nothing basically new. But the novelty comes from specific lines and specific tasks in cybersecurity risk assessment or risk management, which relates to AI systems. So the hardest part of that is, of course, the risk assessment. I mean, the scope criteria, describing the criteria is a initial task, but there is no analysis or much of involved. You simply set the boundaries of evaluation. And the risk treatment, if you did your risk assessment well, the risk treatment is also a kind of consequential thing. But the hardest is risk assessment. Therefore, I will cover a little bit of that. So in terms of its risk assessment, it's a 3-step process with a risk identification, analysis, and evaluation. Each of them have specific standardized steps. And going to, in order to, I will not go very deep into each of the step. My task here is to maybe give a reference to useful sources to support your AI system risk analysis and risk assessment. So for the first task of identification of assets, the same ENISA recently in 2020 provided this very good piece of recommendations for AI cybersecurity management, and there they listed the AI asset taxonomy. They listed also in the annexes, the detalization and explanation of what is what, but this is a very nice, kickoff point to kind of inventorize the assets you want to protect. So this is a good source to have a specific database of your asset with a clear classification. Then for the same for threat taxonomy, also ENISA provided the total of 74 identified threats for AI, also classified them into specific groups. And it's also a good kickoff start to not only to identify assets, but also to model some threats, right? So it's after asset identification and threat taxonomy, the next step is to create and construct risk scenarios, right? Which is also, is basically standardized task. For if you have a database of assets, if you have a database of threat events, vulnerabilities, and you can predict some consequences, you can formulate a good risk scenario and then evaluate it for the purposes. This task was a headache for cybersecurity officers or risk management managers, because that involves a lot of creativity, and it's a hard task to create a risk scenario. Well, a good thing we currently have this ChatGPT who can assist us in all the writing tasks. So for the IT guys who are allergic to the documents and allergic to writing, well, this is a good cheat kind of for save some time. So it's but leaving the funny part aside, this is the third step for conduct risk scenarios, after which follows the risk analysis, which usually and for AI systems is the same. You should evaluate the likelihood and impact of specific foreseeable attack. And I have listed just a few of things to consider, which comes from ISO standard for likelihood, that the types, frequency, internal, external factors should be evaluated, mitigation or failure of controls also, and for impact, the criticality, investigation time and cost, and etc., penalties, customer litigations, and other criteria which should also be evaluated. So this is a hard task because usually, the cybersecurity officers are making a subjective predictions. Well, is that risk low, or that impact is high, or whatever. But it's a calculatable things. I mean, the likelihood is a part of statistics. The impact is econometry. It's economy, right? So having that said, for this, I would recommend to look and to follow IBM, who annually gives the threat intelligence index and kind of overviews the overall trends in cybersecurity, in threats for cybersecurity, and also provides us a second part of the X-Force analysis, the cost of data breach. So having those and cost of data breach report usually have a methodology for evaluating the impact. So it's also a good kickoff part to see at the likelihood of risk scenarios based on the market overviews, and also the cost calculations for those threat events. And then having likelihood and impact, the exercise ends. It can end pretty I would say in standard way. Simply put the likelihood and impact into the risk matrix, and you will have the overall picture of what's going on in your risk management. But this also, when next year maybe we will talk about AI to support cybersecurity. There are also various tools to have constant and real-life evaluations, and different tools and different methods used. And so after this evaluation, all what is required is to simply document that, to have a risk register, to have a specific things described, so that you could retrace and follow the treatment plan of your risk management tasks, which you have given or have decided to apply. So I don't know, I'm a bit lost in time, but so if I took a bit longer, so sorry, but that's if I still have a few moments to share, kind of concluding my overview, is that it's cybersecurity in AI. It might sound like something new because of the upcoming new regulation. It may sound a bit scary because of the fines and penalties, but at the same time, as you see, it's rather standardized and commonly used approach to the risk management. So on one hand, it seems like, well, AI and those requirements are something, which may come as and may seen as a very harsh and very strict. But on the other hand, there is actually nothing. There is no bicycle invented. It's the same process. It's the same algorithm of risk management, just specific assets, specific threats, and specific tools to manage those threats. And for that, I see the NISA and IBM and other publications and databases as a good starting point to do that. So that's basically about it. So waiting for your questions.
Your sense of time was perfect, so it's very good.
Oh,
and now we have some questions. So in your opinion, what role do you see regulators and policymakers playing in shaping the legal landscape of AI cybersecurity risk management?
Well, regulators play, a crucial role, because the relationship between regulation and freedom is an opposite. The more regulation, the less freedom you have. So what this regulation is aimed to do is to basically put a framework on the businesses and on the businesses of AI. And this is, of course, done to protect human rights and protect customers within the market. But the wild west of AI models is coming to an end. And here, of course, a lot of critique is given to European Parliament and to this act because of a vagueness of the rules. For example, they say that risk management should encompass the foreseeable risks for the predicted uses of AI, but we have the unknowns, so to speak. There are some things which we yet are completely unaware of. And for example, the same, let's take Facebook. I guess they didn't intended the platform to be used as a the distribution of fake news and fake speech, and all those political things, which is Facebook is used. So there are some gaps, but this will be sorted out through actual implementation. But the wild west of let's do whatever we want with AI system is already gone.
Thank you for your answer. Also, it is nice that you are continuing the topic, so we are waiting for you next year also. So thank you very much. And we have our next presenter.